Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are building another house in The Sims 4. And this one is something I haven't done on my channel yet, so that's pretty exciting. I'm building a recreation of Rihanna's Beverly Hills mansion. This house has 5 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms, at least my version does. So you'll see I included some pictures of her actual house throughout the video so you can compare my build to what it actually looks like. Because The Sims 4 has some limitations that the real world does not, I was not able to recreate it one-to-one, so I did my recreation of it, took some creative liberties throughout, but ultimately I think it has the essence of Rihanna's house, and I'm really pleased with the end result, and I hope you are too. How are all of you doing today? I hope you're having a really great day, a really great weekend. I was inspired to build this one by the Super Bowl halftime show that Rihanna did, and I thought it was really fun, so why not try and recreate one of her many, many incredibly nice houses. I don't usually build houses this big too often because it is a lot of work and it's very time consuming. You can see this video is about 15 minutes long and this is only part 1. I haven't finished decorating the inside yet. The floor plan is done, but I haven't gone through and decorated all the rooms yet. So that will be coming in the future, but you can still download this house as is on the Sims 4 gallery under my user ID NickLastGame. There is no custom content used in the house, so you can download it without having to install anything else. I used a lot of packs, but you do not by any means have to have what I have to download it. The game will just replace it with things that you do. So very, very simple. And the link is in the description if you wanted to go download it super, super quick. If not, no big deal. But I would love to see what you do with it. If you do end up downloading it, putting it in your game, changing it up. The lot that I placed it on, you can see in the top left corner. I can't actually read it right now. It's too small on my screen. But it's up there and it's also in the description. I built it in Newcrest. And one thing you'll see is I really manipulated the terrain. And that's not something I'm too comfortable with. I don't do it that often. And for a house this big, I really pushed it to the edge of the lot. But I didn't want to put it on a bigger one just because I don't think it really needed it. So I did what I could and I add some nice landscaping to disguise some of the more steep portions. And yeah, but what I was saying is the actual house is built into the hillside. And I can't do that in The Sims 4. If you played the game or are familiar with it, all the lots are flat, which you can see on this one when I started it. It was completely flat and I've had to go through and raise everything. That makes it hard to build a house that's just naturally situated on a hill, as many houses in Los Angeles and especially Beverly Hills are, because that is the just general environment. So I try to recreate the effect of it being built on a hill, not necessarily into a hill, but the back is still very layered, and that's one of the coolest features about this house. There is a guest home that is what I would consider semi-attached because you have to access it through either a bathroom that is shared between 2 separate parts of the house, or you can go through the middle courtyard / backyard area, or through the private side yard, which this house just has so many outdoor living spaces, and I think you are going to absolutely love it. There is not too much more you could really dream of for a house like this. It is super private, but it has these amazing city views just for the lot in the game, and it's still incredibly private, but you have all these separate outdoor living spaces and they connect and flow so uniquely, and I imagine that it would be a really fun property to just exist on and live in. Rihanna is very lucky to be exploring a house like this all the time. I think some things I'm going to include on it once I end up furnishing it are a movie theater and a game room and a home gym. There's 5 bedrooms. I think I said this already. 5 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms in my version. So you can expect to see that in the furnished version, which will be coming soon. But there's still 7 separate bathrooms in the floor plan if you were to download it. As is, you would just have to go through and pick all of the furnishings on your own. Some other things about this lot are that there is a 2-car garage. I think you can fit more just because of how big it is, but it's not that wide from the outside, but it is definitely very spacious, and that is occupying the entire bottom floor of the house. I imagine it would be the basement just because it's built on the hill and you have to go up those stairs to reach the main part of the main level. So I'm going to call it the basement, but I guess it could also be the first floor. There's a really large in-ground pool off the back of the house that has a really cool, I say that a lot. It has a patio that is a few steps up behind it and a really nice water feature, which is pretty special and luxurious. But I didn't spare any expense when I was building the outside of this home. It is $148,600. So you probably have to cheat quite a bit if you wanted to download this, unless the family that you're playing with is loaded. And then you would still have to decorate it all. So that's crazy. But I decorated all the exterior pieces of the house. That's just something I've seen people do online before, and I really like that idea of finishing the exterior before you go inside, because then you don't have to come back to it. And whenever you build really big houses like this, it's nice to take your time really focusing just on the outside, even the outdoor living spaces, putting in patio chairs and your grills and landscaping, all those special things before going inside, just because then you get to see it come together at the end and you don't have to work back on something. That's just a way that I always build, and sometimes I'll take a break to do the floor plan just when I want to finalize what all the window placements look like. So definitely do that too if you wanted to. This is such a long speed build, you guys. I have ran out of things to say, so I'm just gonna watch the video with you and comment on what I was thinking, which is probably what you were begging me to do the whole time. Just like talk about the house. But I added this courtyard off to the side that wasn't included in the actual house because the lot was really big, and I thought, why not make use of this really nice space and model it after some of the other areas? So it's part half wall, part glass fence. There is also a staircase going to be coming off of it that goes to the back of the house with a fence so that it's private still. Right now I'm reshaping the terrain so that you can have that staircase. And I put in this almost retaining wall in stone. I thought it was a nice way to separate the really steep terrain from the side of the house. And I thought it was nice, so I included it. It'd be really easy to take out if you don't like it. Now we're moving on to furnishing this other living space outside in the front of the house that is accessible through these giant sliding glass doors over to the back. And it's a few steps down. I believe that's the only way to access it. I don't think your Sims will be able to navigate to it another way. If they can, I hope that's something that benefits you. If not, I'm sorry. You can probably add one of those like invisible fences to cover it up. Now we're back to that side yard that I was talking about, and I added these stripes to the landscaping with the different shades of the grass just to make it look really freshly manicured, because one of the most famous people in the whole planet is living here. At least that was my inspiration. And I added this nice kind of transparent rug around this big dining table and a nice foliage feature against the wall. I thought it would be a really nice Instagram moment. And there's cool sculptures and fountains and chairs. There's also these little stepping stones connecting the two areas, and I tried to make it this combination of a darker gray and a lighter gray to mimic the checkerboard kind of feature on the patio immediately outside those double doors. So I made sure to keep the double doors on the main floor open and the ones on the balconies closed, and I added in those kind of shutter things to act as guardrails. There's not a lot of content in the game without using custom content to get this perfect Beverly Hills, Calabasas, modern farmhouse look. There's a lot of really, really nice items in the game, but not necessarily things that mimic real life perfectly in this scenario. So I did take those creative liberties and I shrunk some things, and I put this third story / rooftop patio on top of the guest house when I believe it would be even further behind it, built once again into the hill. I couldn't do that, so I put it there, and I thought it was really cool. It gives you a really nice view of the city if you were to place it here. Now we're working on, again, the inner courtyard, and there's this cool fire pit that's elevated just one little step, and I thought it was a really nice feature, so I emulated that in my recreation. There's also this cool elevated platform that I think is in the real house as well that inspired me. Here you can see the pool where it has the water feature and these cool benches behind it, and there's this staircase off to the back that lets you to this little private kind of walkway elevated behind the pool with a glass railing so you can get unobstructed skyline views and views of this little water feature just in Newcrest. And it takes you behind the guest house and the gym to the private ensuite patio outside of the primary suite's bathroom. There's just all these living spaces on the front as well, and we are almost at the tail end of this video. There are some screenshots at the end with side-by-sides of the actual home that I think are really helpful to see what I was inspired by. So I hope you like this. Subscribe, like, comment for more. I will be doing another part of this, furnishing it. So if you made it this far, I appreciate you to infinity and beyond, because this was quite the long one and we still have just a little bit to go, but I really think sticking around is worth it to get those side by sides. You can also see some edited screenshots on my social media, Nick Last Game. I love taking the pictures and making them look a little bit more fancy than they do at the end of the video, but you can find that over there. Here I'm just adding in some extra landscaping, so even though I told you to kind of do it all at once, I still haven't gone inside, so I was sticking true to that, but adding some more life around the place just to really tie it into the natural environment. Hers is a bit more bare, but I think in The Sims you can get away with a bit more wild landscaping. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have an incredible rest of your day or night. Bye.